The officials have stated there are 2 minutes additional time in the first half. 2 minutes. This afternoon, Ashford Utd 2, Burgess Hill Town 1.
Lloyd, a small matter of a 2-1 win against a team that hasn't lost since November. You must be absolutely thrilled with that performance today.
I'm thrilled for the performance of the boys. I'm thrilled for the boys. You know, you've been there a lot in training. We're working really hard as to how we want to play, a bit of an identity for the team. There were times today that we lost our shape a little bit, but they were few and far between. The most pleasing thing about that performance is we didn't nick a 2-1 win against Burgess Hill. We deserved to win. For me, we looked the better team. They had a couple of injuries through the game, which always upsets the team, but they're a good side. You can see that they're well drilled. They've been together, and they made it difficult for us. But you know, more importantly, we made it really difficult for them. We pressed all over the pitch. I always talk about defending as a team. We defended the team. What epitomised our performance today was in the last couple of minutes, they're breaking away. And Gary Lockyer's run 90 yards to chase a fullback down. And that really epitomised the attitude of the boys today. And that's really, really pleasing as a manager to see.
Yeah, and since you've sort of taken over, you've always praised the effort that they put in. Sometimes the quality was missing, but the quality was really on show today, right from the off, wasn't it?
Yeah, the quality was on show. The quality was on the bench. You know, there was people we left out that can also add some quality. We're a good side. You know, the previous manager spoke about the good players we've got. We've added to that with quite a good number of people as well. We've got a really good bunch of lads. I'm more pleased for them. That's nothing to do with the management. That's to do with players' desire, them understanding what we want as a side. But the challenge isn't about today. We don't get carried away with a 2-1 win against Burgess Hill. The challenge for us is, can we do it next week? Can we do it the week after? Yeah. And can we continue to do it till the end of the season? I'm going to add, I always say this, we're not already playing for next season, but there's part of me as a manager, and when I'm talking to Craig Stone and Barry, who are now part of the team that we've put together, I know you want to talk about that, but we're talking very much about next year, who can, who can't, how do we make sure we finish in the top 3 as a bare minimum, and a lot of players do themselves a lot of credit out there today, so I'm really, really pleased for them.
Yeah, before we come on to that, I mean, Westy had a really, really good game, a big influence on the game. I guess you took him off because to protect him, did you? We
made a decision before the game. It's a really tough one. So yeah. I said to Westy, I don't want an emotional decision. How far do we think we can get you into the game without risking an injury? Okay. We said 70 minutes. If you looked at the clock, we didn't leave it a second before 70 minutes because we wanted him on the pitch. But what we need to do with Westy is ensure that we have him on the pitch more games than we don't. So the important thing is to manage him through today, manage him through this week, and then he'll be good for 90 minutes next week. Same as Joey Taylor. You know, I said, give us everything you've got. got for a period of time. That we had a plan, we had to stick to that. As a manager, it can be really frustrating because you know I'd love more Michael West. He's that good as a player, but I don't want to take anything away from the other lads either. I thought they were outstanding today.
Yeah, Harry, what an engine he's got for a young kid, and Stanley the same.
Yeah, Stanley and Harry, you know, not just today since they've been here, have been a real credit to themselves, the club that have loaned them to us and to us. So, you know, Stan was tiring near the end, and he was tiring because of the work he got through. I think Harry could probably run a marathon after a game of football. He's that fit, but you know, Stanley put in a real shift as well today, and they were a big influence on us.
And the guy who, for me, had probably the best game he's played this season was one Gary Lockyer, who was you made skipper today. Was there a reason for that?
Well, the reason for that was hoping for that type of performance from him. So, you know, what we want is to get Gary can be a leader, but he can also, and he'll admit this himself, sometimes be a disruptor because he lets his emotion get in the way sometimes of the football. I knew that if we made him skipper, and we're going to continue that till the end of the season before we make any decisions about next year, we might get another 30% out of him, another 5% out of all the lads. I think we got another 40% out of Garrett today. I thought he was outstanding in his attitude on the pitch. And the rest of the players followed, and that's what you want from a skipper.
And that goal he got just before half-time was so important, almost as important as Tate's save just before that. Tate made some fantastic saves.
Yeah, Tate's a good goalkeeper, and you know they've got a really good goalkeeper as well in Slav. You know, he's played lots of conference football. He's a great keeper. They're well organised. And so, you know, Tate, again, he's been great since he's come in, and credit to his club and credit to himself. You know, you forget he's 19, keepers make mistakes. He don't make many. So he's done really, really well. So, yes, really good all-round performance.
So Craig Stone, obviously not captain till the end of the season, but you have news about Craig's role at the club now. Yeah,
Craig's been officially made my number 2. Darren O'Hare unfortunately couldn't commit to the commitment we need as a club, and he's a great coach, great guy. You know, stepped in for a month. The plan was to keep him stepped in until the end of the season before we make any further decisions. But as the weeks have gone on, Craig's been a real help, as has Barry Fuller. I've been speaking to them now for 2 weeks. And we've agreed, you know, that Stoney's going to be my number 2. Barry's going to be our first team coach, but there's no hierarchy in that. Stoney, Barry, and me all very much on a level playing field. And all the businesses I've ever had, including football, I like a flat management structure. They've added huge amounts of value in the last couple of weeks, both on the training pitch and in decisions we're making as a club. They've got a wealth of knowledge. They've got a wealth of experience. They're good on the training pitch. They're good on the pitch. They're good in the dressing room. I'd be mad not to utilise their skills.
And is that going to be the setup for next season, or is it too early to ask?
It's possibly too early to ask, but we don't want to make decisions on next season before we really understand what we believe we can do. I know what we can do as a club. I've got to make sure that I know what we can do as a team and as a squad, and building that strongly for next year. My challenge before the game is if we want to really compete for that top 3. I know there's 5 at the top, but I want to finish in the top 3 as a bare minimum next year. And you've got to beat Burgess Hill because they're not going to be any worse next year. They're going to be equally as good, if not better. So that was a challenge. We've got to know whether we can compete or we can't, or where we fall short. And we've shown today we can compete. But the challenge is, can we compete next week and the week after? I fancied today's game because we're playing a team at the top, and the lads in the dressing room, Sittingbourne at home, you know, are always going to be up for that type of game. It's whether they can be up for Eastbourne at home, which we weren't 2 weeks ago. I know we were very short when we played Eastbourne, but we still had enough quality on the pitch to cause problems, and we didn't. So that's the challenge moving forward.
Well, the 450 odd people who were here today saw a really quality first 11 and a really quality bench, and it gives us a lot of hope and confidence for next season, if not for the rest of this season. You've got a really good group of players there, haven't you? Yeah,
we've got a really good group of players. We've got a really good group of men. You know, there's some really good individual people in there. And when I say some, I'm pretty mean all of them. They're a good bunch of lads. It's a great dressing room, but there's some real quality there as well. But I'm going to keep repeating, I sound like I'm going round and round, that it's whether you can do it again and again and again, that consistency. They're third in the league because they churn performances like that week in, week out. And when it's not going well, they still find a way to win. That's where we've lacked all season. I don't think that we'll continue in that vein because we're doing things slightly differently, and I'm not going to allow people to accept that we're a good side. I won't have that. You're a good side if you win games of football.
So Sheppey next Saturday, repeat performance required, if not better.
I think we've got to get better. If we don't keep improving every game, and I know that's a tall challenge, then we're standing still, and you can't stand still in football. We need to go and win again next weekend. We need to improve our performances. There were times today, certainly in the first 10 minutes, they pressed really high. They had a really high shape, so sometimes there were 4 up front, and it made our back 4 really nervous about me being man for man. So I'm pretty croaky because for the first 15 minutes, I'm telling us to push higher, play higher, push our midfield higher and make them kick it long. And even though that was our game plan, we were nervous for that. And what I want to make sure is them 5 or 10 minutes over the period of 90, not in one go, and we don't have them worrying moments, which we had today. But, you know, we got what we deserved, I think.
Yeah, enjoy tonight. You thoroughly deserve to win, I thought, from where I was standing. Just enjoy it tonight, and then let's go again next Saturday.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well done, Lloyd.
Cheers.
Cheers.